Now, my next guest has always been overlooked and ignored. Now, he can win major titles, British or European titles, push world champions and challengers close, and still, for some crazy reason, and it's wrong, go under the radar. But he is one of the 8 chosen fighters for the next or the latest instalment of Prizefighter, which will be the Welterweights at York Hall on June 7th. It's a delight to welcome back to the show Colin Lynes. Good evening, Colin.
Hello, Steve. How are you? All right?
Yeah, fantastic. Colin, you've, I tell you what, there's not much you haven't done, really. You've been there and done it all. You've even been in the Prizefighter final before.
Right.
So you know how to prepare. Looking at this list, Colin, I'll just go through the list. I think it's Junior Witter, a guy called John Wayne Hibbert, Kevin McIntyre, former British champion, Nathan Graham, Yassine El Mati, who, of course, talks a great fight, Peter McDonough, who's been in the ring with about 2,000 other people, Bobby Gladman. It's a right mixed list, isn't it? Is there anybody there you want to avoid?
No, I'd like to, in fact, I'm looking forward to if I can get it on with Junior Witter.
Start off.
And avenge a loss that I had, so...
Now, that's an interesting fight, your fight with Junior, because it was at York Hall, and
Yep.
the expectation was that Junior, who was on a bit of a roll at that time, was going to walk through you. And that didn't happen, did it? It was a really tough fight in the end.
That's right, I pushed him all the way. And
Did you ever?
Just where I was in a bit of awe of him, I sort of didn't step up the gas in the later rounds, like Timothy Bradley did when Timothy Bradley beat him. But, you know, I'm a more experienced fighter now, older fighter. And although I respect Junior, I shan't be sort of holding back. I'll be straight on him. It
looked like that on the night, Colin. It looked like you were going to, you were there. I'm here. I'm okay. I'm going to do my best. It didn't look like you believed you could win till about 4 or 5 rounds.
That's right. I mean, I'm obviously going into the fight, I believe I could win in that, but I just...
Of course, you know what I mean, though, you know.
Yeah, any close rounds and you end up sort of submitting them to the champion, or the judges give it to the champion anyway, so... You know, but I really needed to put my foot on the gas and take over some of those rounds. Yeah.
So it's Prizefighter. That's 32 grand. Great exposure because it gets unbelievable viewing figures on Sky. We push it like crazy on this show, and of course an enormous cup. It does mean something, Prizefighter, doesn't it? I mean, you fighters talk about it. It does carry a bit of weight these days, doesn't it?
Definitely. Prizefighter is exactly what it is. It's exciting. It's reaching out to a new audience, and it's the make or break for fighters that still think they've got it. Prizefighter is the first thing to show up that they haven't. No. And, you know, you've got to make sure you don't fall into that category. So.
Yeah, that's the truth. Now, there's two things about the preparation for this fight. Obviously, there's the physical and mental stuff. You've got to work out, you know, because you're doing 3 3-minute rounds, hopefully three 3-minute rounds, so to speak. Yep. So you've got to perhaps slightly change the way you prepare and the way you spar, the way you run. But there's also the problem preparing for opponents. You know, do you watch, you know, try and watch the other 7 rather on tape, or do you know enough about some of them and don't care about others?
No, I care about all of them, but I know enough about those that are a real threat early on.
Boy.
So obviously you can watch the little monitor back screen as well on the night.
Oh, of course you do.
So I know most of the names there, and a couple that I don't, we've done our own work on, and we know what they've done and who they've been against. So yeah.
Now, what about the last time you were in Prizefighter, Colin? Did you learn things? Did you maybe get things wrong? I know. You lost in the final to Reese, wasn't it? To Gavin Reese.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with losing in the final. Don't get me wrong. And
no.
Reese, been a world champion, European champion. He's a really good fighter. Yeah. But do you think are there things you learned from that you do differently this time around?
Only that, regardless of who you've got, I don't think I would try and box anybody. Whereas against Reese, he's such a short fellow, I thought, well, if I box him, I'll be able to outclass him. But again, on the night, in the final, in Prizefighter, you can't afford to be 1 round down, so you need to get straight to it. And that's the only, not regret, but if I'd have gone back, because I finished really strong, and Gavin was the first to admit, like, you know, he felt some of the punches, and I felt ease, but just that first round that I ended up submitting, just because I tried to, not change tactics, but I thought the better advice, which would have been over 12 rounds, would be to box his head off. But in Prizefighter, you know, that's not what you do. You've got to get straight to it, sensibly. Don't charge in and walk onto shots, but you know, you need to go at the person and really put them under pressure. Yeah,
and that's applicable in the final. But I personally think that it's more applicable in the first round of the first fight.
Yeah. You know, and we've seen how the scoring's been going.
Oh, you know, yes.
I won my first 2 fights in the first Prizefighter. I thought comfortable. Not that I took my foot off the gas, but they only gave them the split decisions, and the second one I knocked Matley down. Yeah. Although it wasn't a concussive blow, it was a knockdown on the way down. So, and they didn't really score that. They still made it a split decision. So you need to go at it every round, every fight.
Yeah, you do. It's an absolute relentless. Basically, it's sort of 2.5 hours out of your life where you just got to go like a nutcase.
That's it. Yeah.
Listen,
Which isn't my normal cup of tea, which is why I enjoy it so much, because it makes me do stuff that I don't normally do. I'm training a different style to what you normally do for 12-round champions. It's good. It keeps you young, keeps you lively, keeps you exciting, and it's great for the public.
Well, I'll tell you what, Colin, you're more entertaining now. You're more entertaining now that you're 33 than you were 6 or 7 years ago. Cole, let me ask you this. When you do finally call it a day, whenever that is, either after Prizefighter or fighting for the British, European or pushing to a world, whenever that is, are you going to stay in boxing? Do you think you're going to put back some of the stuff and become a trainer? Is that what Colin Lynes is going to be?
I get asked that question all the time. All I'd say is on the initial retirement, I can't see me getting straight into the gym as a trainer, because if you're a decent trainer, you're there an hour before the fight, warming the premises up, getting things ready, and you're there an hour after everyone's gone home, locking up and that. So you're gone even longer from the family than what you would normally be as a fighter. So I think I'd probably have a year to maybe 18 months completely out of the game, get the bug back, miss it big time, the kids will be older, and then definitely give back to the game, whether it's training, managing, talking, hosting, perhaps a combination of a few of those. Because definitely put back.
Yeah, because in and around your fights, you've become a father a couple of times, haven't you? In and around your fights.
That's right. Yeah, very
Tough,
busy at home, and I go into the school as well. My local school where I went, I go in there and help the kids out with their PE.
Oh, good stuff.
I go to the local amateur club, which is the one I went to, Hornchurch Amateur Boxing Club. I try and help out there and do a few training sessions there. So, loads of things going on. I'm never, ever sitting on my bum on the settee.
Listen, nothing wrong with that. Colin, as I say, it's always a pleasure to have you on. If I don't speak to you before June the 7th, you'll call for Prizefighter. I'll come and say hello on the night.
Yep, I'll see you there.
Thanks, Colin. What a pleasure.
Thanks, Bunsey.
Cheers, sir.